Alright, hey guys, what is up? It is me, Bolt. School starts tomorrow for me, and that's a problem, obviously, besides the fact that who really wants to be in school? Nobody likes it. And in fact, that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to be talking about how the school, at least the American school system, is just a complete joke. It's just one big mess and really is doing a disservice to pretty much anybody. So stay tuned while I just go over and discuss the key points. Uh, right. By the way, before I get into this, I want to warn you that I'm a bit under the weather, so do bear with me as I might be coughing and I don't sound 100%, although I should sound better thanks to this new mic. Now, first of all, let's talk about school. I feel like it's become a lot more grade and point orientated versus actual education because we focus so much on getting good grades that we cheat. This is like the reason why we cheat on tests is because we want to boost a grade to look good for college applications, but doing so, you're not really absorbing the information. Like, people will find a way to get around learning, and absorbing just because of the point system and getting those good grades. So it's really focused more on that than actual education. By the way, so humans, we're naturally curious, okay? Uh, you hear little kids always asking why. That's the human nature. That's why we're good at learning stuff outside of school, because the reality is the school really sucks any fun out of learning, because we're born wanting to know how the world works, but the way the school is set up, it just it sucks. It makes learning totally not fun and just dull and unnecessarily stressful too. That's another point. The stress and anxiety of school, maybe not just on the grades, but socially as well. Now, of course, there is the good side where obviously humans, we need to socialize. We need to be interacting with other humans. That's why there's like clubs. For example, I'm part of robotics clubs. Like-minded people come together and hang out, chat, build things. So we obviously need to socialize as well, but being in a large school can be overwhelming to some, especially with certain conditions like social anxiety. It'll be hard and tough to meet new people and basically stand up or ask for help when needed because they could be nervous or whatever. Now, that may not be directly the school's fault, because obviously you can't really help if somebody has um, social anxiety. That's like a more of a mental condition, which, by the way, I have as well. I find it difficult meeting new people, so I'm just gonna come out there and say it. But you know, there is that. And then there's of course the being locked up. I say locked up. You're stuck. You're forced in a fenced off area for hours on end. It's easy to get burnt out because, like, in the morning it starts so early. You arrive early. Uh, you're tired. You don't really feel like learning. But by the end of the day, you're pretty burnt out, and you just want to go home or go to, or if you have work, to go to work, or after school robotics or whatever club there is that. You're pretty tired. So, by the way, of course, I'm talking about elementary, middle, and high school. Obviously, college is different. You know, you actually got I you can actually schedule classes different throughout the day, so it's not as draining as high school, middle school, or um, elementary. Then again, that's not really my area of expertise, considering I haven't reached that stage yet. One more year to go, so. But yeah. Now, I believe that tests and quizzes are really terrible ways of measuring intelligence. Like I said, the stress and anxiety of you have to do well to get good grades. That's why students cheat on tests because um, they really want those points, but they're less motivated to actually learn. And studying, by the way, studying is also a bad way of learning because you're typically cramming all that information in on like one night before um, the test, right? You're not really getting a deeper understanding. You're not really developing that. You're not really absorbing the information as well, because you know you feel like it's useless, and like once the test, like you're gonna be like, oh, forget about it. You're not gonna need you're gonna forget about it right after the test. I've there are many instances where I have done tests and I have cheated on tests, and after the test, I completely forgot about the topic, or forgot about the material. So yeah, tests and quizzes are really bad ways of measuring intelligence, because you know now what would better now and not to mention, tests and quizzes are typically weighted more than regular assignments, so there is, anxiety with that as well. The fear that you have to do well, because these days we're so orientated around you have to do well in school, you have to get into a good college in order to make it somewhere in life, which is just simply not true. There's successful people that dropped out of high school, didn't go to college. Now, of course, they're the few, so obviously I'm not saying you should skip out on education, and realistically you shouldn't drop out of school. You need I think, like, it's important to learn and be well educated. Now, obviously, there are people who've attended college and gone the whole route, and yet you look at these people and be like, there is no way you have a degree. Like, obviously, there's different people have different intelligence. You can't really base intelligence on education. You just can't, because right. So, like, that's kind of like a few key focuses, few points that I wanted to make about school, and like the reason why students. And by the way, I'm obviously I can't speak for every single school, every single class, every single teacher, because this is because obviously there are teachers who are really bad at their jobs. There's obviously teachers that are really good, and on the very good, teachers. There's a whole spectrum, so a whole wide range. So I can't really speak for everyone. Um, teachers who say that, I find it weird how, teachers think it's a flex that they're like, this course is so tough that, most of the students drop out. That really reflects more on them than it does on the students. That they are in not good teachers, that to the point that students drop out. Good teachers will encourage their students to keep trying at it and do better for when to keep pushing and give them that motivation. That's what a good teacher does. And I was very fortunate to have plenty of good teachers that are that you know that really that are really dedicated to their job, that they really want to help the students, and absolutely respect teachers like that because you know the reality is we don't want to be at school. We don't want to be locked up for several hours in a day. We don't want to wake up early. Um, we don't want to be there because, not to mention also typically how schools are ran is just so abysmal because there's just so many ridiculous rules. Like the school is like the king of ridiculous rules that make zero sense. For example, no hoodies, even when it's cold out. That's a little strange to me. And I also find the no phones rule to be kind of ridiculous, especially when you're done with your work and you have nothing else to do. I don't see the issue with that. And also, restricting students on going to the bathroom should be a federal crime because it's a bodily function, okay? When you have to go, you have to go. And if you know anything about high school school bathrooms in general, the bathrooms during passing period and lunch are just very, what I want to say is that there's a lot of, it's hard to use it because, there's a lot of students in there goofing around. I've seen people vape in bathrooms. I have. I mean, that's typically why I don't use those bathrooms during lunch and passing periods. So it makes total sense why students would want to go to the bathroom during during class. And students are more likely to skip class or, you know, where the teacher is bad. When there's a bad teacher, that's when students are more likely to skip because they don't want to be there. They don't want to deal with that class. That's typically why they do that. And skipping school, like the school wants to punish the students who skip when they really should be looking at themselves and being like, maybe we are the root cause of why they are skipping school or class. The schools really are quick to put the blame on the students rather than thinking maybe we're not creating the best environment for the students. Like, we're being way too harsh on the students. We're, coming up with rules that just make absolutely no sense. So, yeah. Those, realistically, are my main points for why school, especially these days, really suck. And why the system is completely flawed. Now, I guarantee there's a lot more to it than just that. So, if you would like, definitely let me know if you want me to do more, or if I forgot a point, to drop that in the comment section below. That'd be greatly appreciated, and I will catch you later. I will catch you on another video. Peace.